Hello, this is your former President Barack Obama.
Let's start a channel from YBA until it's been milked thoroughly. Algorithm busted, no more watch time. This is my last game. YT's playing this game, milking all that we have left. Children cling to their skins, sweet sing aloud. YT's playing this game, viewers falling. Children cling on to their very last skins. Click through, rate, recommendations. You are the channel's enemy.
But Angie boy, didn't you say you were quitting YBA last video? I thought the next video was gonna be about the future of the channel.
Since the Crazy Diamond update dropped a month ago, we've heard absolutely nothing from Uzuki. Not a droplet of information on the next update, not a droplet of any sort of other news whatsoever. Logically, considering it's already September, it would be pretty safe to assume Uzu's back to old habits. Back at it again at school with zero work-life balance to ever even fix the biggest yet easiest bugs like Tuskak 4. That's what I would have said, of course, if it wasn't for the fact that Uzu proved this completely wrong as soon as I tried complaining about it. Just as I uploaded my premiere for my last video talking about where Uzu has been, Uzu pies me in the face and in the ass with a complete fucking Squidward alarm clock shelf of news and updates. As if the guy was just fucking waiting for me to open the door, clown makeup in hand, ready to make a fool of me. Truth be told, I'm still firm in my belief that YBA is just a complete dumpster fire. No. At least a dumpster fire is entertaining to watch. YBA is just a 10-inch high lawn of weeds and dead grass. It's clear how awful it is, but it happens so slowly you can't even tell when it gets worse. But since deep down I'm a massive fucking femboy for part 7, and since I truly was not expecting a Halloween update, I thought I'd take a few minutes to discuss, not the future of YBA like in the last video, but just the imminent future of YBA, as in within the next month. So without further ado, hop into the Wienermobile, baby. I'm about to molest you. I'll be fully honest with you guys, the Spin Rework caught me fully off guard. YBA hasn't updated a single Part 7 stand or spec since they added Tusk back in September of 2020. All the way back when I first started making videos on YBA. The past 3 updates just have not tickled my fancy. Stone Free has to be my least favorite main character stand in the entire series, because like, I mean, come on, it's string! Your superpower is to turn yourself into a 5mm thick strand of string! Yeah, and my superpower is to snore through the entirety of Stone Ocean. Suck my fucking dick, Araki! Crazy Diamond comes a close second on the boring JoJo stands tier list. It has a lot of potential, but it just feels like it's all wasted on punching things into different looking things for half of your moveset. If I wanted to reshape things, I'd fuck off and make curvy looking clay sculptures of men kissing Uzu. Come on here. Pluck is just not even in JoJo's at all. Uzu, what are you smoking, my guy? Needless to say, the past 3 updates just have really not tickled my fancy in the way the other updates used to. Sea Moon, Made in Heaven, The World of Heaven, now that was the stuff. But now Uzu comes out of the grave with Spin? Fuck me, Spin is half the equation to my second favorite ability in all of JoJo's. The first being the ability it just overpowers entirely in the blink of an eye. Needless to say, for the first time in ages, I am genuinely hyped for a YBA update. So while we wait in this update purgatory I call my YouTube channel, I thought I'd just entertain myself a little with some speculation on what the Spin Rework will be. First off, let's set the record straight. If Spin comes out like Pluck, I will be out of here faster than A-Train. Uzu, seems like you've been snooping on my uploads lately, you sussy baka. So go get a pen and paper, you might want to take notes. Spin, no matter how creative you get with it, no matter if you make it your fucking graphic design thesis or your spec magnum opus, Spin needs to feel like a fucking spec. None of this pluck bullshit. I see what you're trying to do with Stone Free, Pluck, Crazy Diamond. It's not working. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Adding tons upon metric tons of moves to a single ability is a waste of time. Logically speaking, and this might knock some of your socks off, ladies and gentlemen, when you add so many moves to a single stand, you need to balance them all out by distributing the power evenly among all of these moves. If done incorrectly, you can have a bunch of overpowered moves that people spam, a bunch of moves nobody buys and everybody forgets about, or a combination of the two. Crazy Diamond at the moment is the poster child of far too many overpowered moves. Give a Joe a pre-reworked Crazy Diamond, you feed his content hunger for a day. Give a Joe a reworked Crazy Diamond, you feed him until you fucking nerf it already. What you essentially get out of it is a jack of all trades, and a really good one at that. It's basically Stone Free, but even worse in that all of its moves are fucking cracked. Blood Splatter is true on anybody who's ragdolled, which in turn makes Shard Shot true on anybody who gets up and has blood on them. The stun from that makes any of the holy trinity of stun moves true from there, those three of course being Yo Angelo, You're in My Range, and Eye Gouge, because of course Crazy Diamond needed 3 different overpowered high damage stun moves. After all, this is YBA, where absolutely nothing gets tested before it gets released to a market worth millions of fucking dollars. Loop those 3 moves together, all comboing into each other conveniently, until you land a Jawbreaker to continue the cycle over again, or worse, initiate a beatdown, which is a one-shot if your opponent is anywhere below half health. Point is, a lot of moves is just not how you go about it. Even if you were to nerf all of these moves to the ground, it would just make the stand overall really confusing to play and overall just not very fun. Especially when it comes to specs, because you can have a stand with a bunch of moves and a spec with a bunch of moves, and suddenly your fingers are playing fucking Strip Twister on your keyboard. No. Uzu, I don't think so. What you need out of a spec is versatility. Boxing is a god amongst mortal specs. Boxing is the perfect spec. Its power is concentrated into just 1 passive and 3 simple moves, only 2 of which actually matter since Boxing Barrage is only ever useful every time Halley's Comet flies past Earth. Eye Gouge, Stun, Blockable, Jawbreaker, True Block Break, Ragdoll, and of course, Tough Skin, essentially giving you the power of nanomachines. Sure, it's boring, and I agree, making every spec just like Boxing would be fucking boring. But it's a damn good framework that all specs should strive to stand by. So, with all that in mind, here are my ideas. I'm gonna be saying balls a lot during this, but I know you guys are mature enough to handle it, so here we go. Golden Skin can be turned into a passive, or even, to distinguish it from Boxing, it could have some sort of golden rectangle mechanic. In the manga, the power of the spin is amplified whenever you can apply the golden ratio. This is convenient, for example, in the Sandman fight, where Johnny finds all these golden rectangles in nature, where they often hide, and uses it to his advantage. Instead of charging spin with a boring keybind like Hamon, a feature to find golden rectangles could be implemented some sort of way. Clicking on rectangles you see around you in the map could give you a temporary boost in stats, especially in terms of defense. It shouldn't be too hard, there's a simple test to see if an object you click on is indeed a sort of rectangle. Though, coming out now it does sound a little stupid, so maybe better to keep it a passive, not too sure. Next up, a steel ball meter. I feel like with how creative Uzu has been lately, he might just add in a sort of GUI to show you how many steel balls you have left to throw. Since Gyro only had 2 steel balls, you'd only ever be able to use them when they came back to him. So, to balance out what probably will be a better moveset, that might be the way to nerf it a little, with a sort of global cooldown on your whole spec moveset. Enough about passives, let's get into the moves. Spin, in its current state, is the worst designed spec in the entire game. You get a steel ball move, a steel ball move but twice, and a 5-year-old's punch. Though, considering Uzu's track record with Pluck, I'd say it's pretty safe to assume that he's removing all of this. I'm thinking of a simple steel ball throw that works more like how it works in ASBR, where when it hits another few times before ending its attack. This would be really good for opening combos, but it probably wouldn't do a lot of damage since it would only be 4 hits with maybe 3 or 4 damage each. It would also cost you a steel ball for a little. You could have a steel ball barrage, this would probably waste both your balls, but would do some really good damage and good stun. For a true block break, you could have a close range move using both balls, crushing the person in front of you on both sides, doing a few hits of small blockable damage before doing its final, brutal blown twisting hit of 25 damage, block breaking and ragdolling. If Spin had a golden rectangle meter, and I really wish it did, You can do two things with it. Holding it down can change your view and give you Scan, the power of the Eye of the Saint's corpse. This will make your balls return to you 3 times faster while also giving your balls homing power, since in the manga it increases Gyro's control of the steel ball substantially. And finally, when you harness the ultimate power and got your bar completely full, that's when you get access to the infinite rotation. Charge up your throw, maybe a full second worth of wind up, and waste your entire bar for this one moment. On contact with an opponent, the ball breaker finish. An execute beatdown, and one that debuffs your opponent by aging them, if they escape at all. It's absolutely essential that the beatdown only be available at the maximum charge though, because then it wouldn't get repetitive and spammy, and you'd feel like you'd have earned it, which is just a must in a game with so many stupid ass beatdowns. It just keeps the beatdowns fresh and hype. Honestly, if all the beatdowns were locked behind some sort of meter, I would lose my shit over how cool that would be. Now, of course, Uzu has admitted before to never having even read Part 7, so this is essentially nothing but a pipe dream. But with a month of nothing behind us, I just get the glimmer of hope that this is gonna be real interesting. Small footnote, because I absolutely do not give a fuck about the Halloween update. It's just gonna be boring grinding for skins and grinding for candy, the only difference this year being more shinies. I will say there's the slimmest conceivable chance that Uzu comes up with something better now that he has all of these developers at his command and maybe even seeing his previous mistakes. Maybe we'll get a new Halloween map. Actually, now that I think about it, we're certainly getting a Halloween revamp to the maps. Like, we literally have a brand new map developer here to do it for him. But even better than that, a new game mode. Halloween themed, even some sort of rudimentary dungeon crawler would be fucking awesome, even for a limited event like this. Don't get your hopes up though, there's just no way that happens. I guess we'll see the day of, which, reminder folks, October 10th. And, based on Uzu's update patterns, I have the feeling that it'll be a package deal with the Spin Rework. Only time will tell. They fixed Tusk. They said it couldn't be done. They said Tusk would reign as the supreme being of YBA for the next millennium. They were wrong, of course, because Uzu wanted to shit in my face by proving my video wrong the day after I uploaded it. Takes you hours to fix a shiny duping bug, but in a whole month you can't even fix the simplest, at most 10 minutes to patch out Tusk Act 4 stun bug. Oh wow, look at that, no fucking way they had an entire update just to patch out Tusk. Now, obviously, this is a remarkably good thing, and I don't want to complain about it too much. Uzu definitely made the right decision in fixing it now rather than the next update, because God knows how long that'll take. Better late than never, I guess. On that note, thank you all for listening to my unbearable geek off about Steel Ball Run and Spin, probably my final update news milking video, but we'll have to see. While I'm here, may as well promote my new Instagram account, just posting daily photos of my vacation with my Jolene plushie. If that tickles your fancy, go ahead and hit follow, card in the top right or link in the description. Make sure to keep up with the news for this channel because oh boy do I have the send-off for you all in a few days. Join the Discord for exclusive news and events, join the channel if you want to support me even more, like and subscribe, maybe tickle the notification bell while you're at it, make it go ring ring like your mama's cell phone at 3 AM in the morning when I go.
I'm over here stroking my dick, I got lotion on my dick right now, I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck, man, I'm a freak, man, like for real.
And I'll see you all next time. Sayonara.